known to the victim. And you wonder why I had a little trouble up here. 52% of the recruiters are men. That kind of makes sense. All right, so here's the shocking number. 42% are women, and the rest are a couple. Is the spectrum broad enough for you now? $32 billion annually is spent on human slavery, and in this country, more money is spent on sex with trafficked individuals than all professional sports combined. I've been to the Carolina Panthers games for years now. How could I not have known about human trafficking, specific to the sex industry? Which, by the way, thank you very much to the good ones for inviting me tonight to talk about it and share it with you. The object for me tonight is to make sure nobody leaves this room untouched and ignorant to this fact. All right, so that's what we watch in the movies. In fact, if you just start getting on YouTube and you want to watch some TV shows or what have you, you're going to see that most of the documentaries, most of the movies out, by the way, Not My Life just started at Concord Mills. That's a brand new movie out about trafficking. Please go and see that. It's the only place that is playing in this area, and maybe, I don't know, within a couple hundred miles anyway, so please check that out. But anyway, those movies and documentaries that are out are mostly about other countries. European bloc, this has been going on there, it looks like, for decades. So that's what we think. We're protected. It's not up in my yard. So here's some United States trafficking numbers. Hundreds of thousands of exploited and sexually trafficked children right now, and those numbers go from 100,000 to 300,000. I tend to believe the 300,000 number a little more. All right? So of the 300,000 trafficked individuals in this country right now, there are only 100 beds nationally that are sheltering these girls when they're rescued. It sounds like an issue. And in fact, of those 300,000 children that are being trafficked, and there are some adults, but mainly children, under 18, 1% are rescued. Mr. Math Wizard, is 300,000 1%? Is that 3,000? Thank you. Woo, and you wonder why I get upset. 20% of the men in the United States have admitted to purchasing sex. And knowing men to be dogs and liars like I do, I'll bet that number's up a lot higher. Average age of children entering sex slavery is between 12 and 16. Entering is a funny word. You'll hear some of that later. Kidnapped, coerced, threatened with death. Had their families threatened with death. That's what entering means, by the way. And I have certainly heard more numbers closer to 10, and then I've heard as early as 4. Oh, my. Here's a fun one. This is something we all need to pay attention to because this can hit home in a lot of houses. Runaways. Within 48 hours of children becoming homeless, they're hit up for the job of prostitution. 48 hours. And I remember when I wanted to run away, I was much younger. I made it all the way to the tree fort. But I didn't take a lot of money with me, and I don't know how I would have made it 48 hours. But if I did make it 48 hours, I know I'd be broke. And money for sex might seem like a pretty good idea at that time. 98% of trafficked victims are physically abused. 92% are raped beyond defined coercion. What I mean by that is just because you're being trafficked doesn't mean that you want to have sex with somebody. And just because you show up at the hotel room to do your job doesn't mean that you're there to make $1 or want to be there. So if you have sex at that point, or somebody has sex with you, I guess is the way I said it, that would be considered rape. Death rates of prostitutes in the United States, 200 times higher than normal. 200 times. In fact, the average lifespan of a trafficked individual, 7 years. The benefit of the doubt, they're 18. At 25, they're dead. 10, 12. They never even see their 20s. By the way, I'm the light, airy greeter at Riverside Church. 71% of all traffic victims have suicidal thoughts and tendencies. 71%. Whew, well, I'm glad we live in the state of North Carolina. Men are men, we hunt, we fish. We have trucks. The truth is, my wife asked me when I was going to shave this, and I said, honey, they won't believe I'm even in trucking without this. Here it is. So North Carolina. Well, North Carolina, we can be proud to call ourselves the 8th highest rated state in the country for sex trafficking. How do you get that ranking? Well, what that ranking represents is the amount of demand for the trafficked girls. Pat yourself on the back, guys. Really, when I say guys at that point, I mean guys. Men. Charlotte. Let's take Charlotte. Let's try to push this away as far as we can, right? Charlotte, 10th. 10th. 10th highest ranking city. Not in the state, but in the country. Pat yourself on the back, guys. 10th.